my friends. I'm so excited to be in the kitchen with you today. It is a day that we've all been waiting for. Many of you told me that you wanted some cracker recipes after I made a video about homemade Cheez-It and goldfish crackers, which turned out really good. They were super tasty. The goldfish were extra crunchy. It was a very good experience trying to make something myself. So today, and also in some future videos or maybe some past videos, because this intro is going to be in all of them, I'm going to be making lots more homemade crackers. 5 crackers, in fact. So once a week, this week, you're going to get a dip, and then you're going to get a new cracker recipe. And they're all new to me too. So together, we're going to go on this journey, and we're going to learn to make some homemade crackers ourselves right here at home. And we're going to find out whether or not they're recipes we want to do again or recipes that we want to toss and try again. So welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angela, and I'm the Inquisitive Farm Wife. First off, I want to apologize. The audio is going to be a little bit different than we've been used to. I broke all my audio equipment, and so maybe by next month we'll be able to have some better audio for you. So there may be a little background noise. It may be a little harder to hear me. I'll try to play with that in the editing department, but guys, I'm just not super good with technology, and that's the truth of the matter. But I do love to experiment in the kitchen, and I love to bring all of you with me, so I'm excited that you're here. Whether you're new or returning, welcome. And let's get busy making a new cracker today. In today's video, we're going to make homemade saltine crackers. So I'm so excited to do this because this is the time of year where we're making lots of soups, maybe some dips and some other treats. And saltine crackers are just one of those comfort foods you think of in this time of year. So let's get to it. And I got this recipe from Bigger Bolder Baking. I really do love watching Emma, I believe is her name, and I have done a lot of her recipes and I trust it, so I have no problem for the first time trying this with you together here in the kitchen. So it says, in a medium bowl, stir together the flour, cornstarch, yeast, and sugar, baking soda, cream, and tartar. So I will link this down below so you don't have to completely follow everything I do. But first thing we need to do is start with the flour. If you're new here, I buy things in bulk to save money. I like to do lots of baking. I'm actually going to be doing a double batch today because I want to have one batch that I'm serving my family. We're having a big get together, and that's why you'll see me each day that's in the same outfit when I make these crackers each week, because I'm batch baking today because we're going to have a family get together and I'm going to make a lot of dips, and I wanted to have some homemade crackers to go with it. And then I'm also wanting to take some to church and share for our Sunday school class. So I will be making a double batch, one for them, one for us, but I will have the original recipe here for you to follow. And 1/3 would be 2 2/3 cups is what I really need. You know what? I'm already taking a chance using a new recipe. I really ought to probably go ahead and make sure I know I'm getting the measurements right? Okay. So there's our flour. Next we need cornstarch, and the original recipe calls for 3 tablespoons, so we'll do 6. 4. I have no idea what the cornstarch would do to this recipe. When I think of cornstarch, I think of like gravies and stuff. It's an amazing thickener. I've used it in some cookies, I believe, and it's great for dusting on top of like pumpkin rolls and things like that. So I'm not sure what it does to the recipe, but it is in there, so we shall do that. So we need some yeast. They want you to use a instant yeast. 2 teaspoons, so teaspoon of sugar. I am guessing this just kind of helps with the yeast a little bit, gives it something to feed on other than your flour. You need a 1/4 teaspoon each. For me, it's a half of baking soda and cream of tartar. I do know that cream of tartar makes for really fluffy sugar cookies, and so I'm assuming that's going to help us a little bit with that too. It definitely can be used as a leavening agent. So many times you'll see baking soda and baking powder. This time they use cream of tartar. And so this is all of our dry ingredients. Set those aside for a minute. Now we'll work on our wet ingredients. We need warm water, 6 tablespoons for a single batch. We need melted butter, 2 tablespoons for a single batch. Vegetable oil, 2 tablespoons for a single batch. Now, if you're not a vegetable oil person, I suppose you probably could exchange it out for any other oils if you want. I would personally choose olive. So I'm looking at the directions, and it says you need a half a teaspoon plus a half a teaspoon of salt. And when I was reading the directions, it says you take the half a teaspoon and you use it later. So my gut's telling me somehow it didn't make it in there that I needed to put some salt in here, which I really think you're going to want it inside the saltines and on top. So I'm going to go with I've been doing this for a little bit, baking technique, and I'm going to go ahead and add a half a teaspoon for a single batch into the dry mixture. I'm going to kind of tidy up, and we will be back to put this together. Now that I've made a little room for myself, what I'm going to do is I like to go ahead and make sure all the wet stuff is incorporated. I especially do this when I have eggs. And we will use my Danish whisk. We're going to do this all by hand. I think we absolutely probably could go ahead and do this in a stand mixer or even a hand mixer. But I think for today, we're just going to go old school. We're going to get down with our bad self and get back to our roots, and we're going to use our clean hands to put these together, because there's a lot of love in these crackers. And so I'm just going to kind of go back to my roots and think about our grandparents, great-grandparents, and even great-great-grandparents, and how they did this. And they didn't go to the store to buy crackers, and they didn't go to the store to make their family homemade things like this. And so I'm just kind of reining that in today and bringing myself back, because as you all know, I'm a kitchen gadget gal, and so this is fun for me to just kind of step back. And I want today to be a very relaxing day, and I don't want to feel rushed. And so what I'm going to do is just kind of bring myself back into the reality of where I came from, you know? And so we kind of got that all to where it was sticky. And they suggested that you lay it out on the surface, but my bowl is big enough. I feel that I do not need to this on the countertops. I think my bowl is big enough that I can do this. And what I'm doing is I'm just pulling it up and pushing and pulling and pushing. And this is just how you hand knead. Turn and push, turn and push. And you just do this. I mean, I'll do a little here just to show you, but this is how I was taught. And you can just kind of keep it going in a circle. See, it makes that noise. It'll probably pick it up. But I've got stuff underneath here, my cast iron and stuff, and it will clank when I do it on here. But I'm going to do this by hand for about 5 minutes. And I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do that. We will be back when I've got this all together. If your dough feels a little too sticky, just add some flour. If it seems too dry and it's not coming together, just add a little bit more water. Okay, so I did the kneading by hand for about 5 minutes, and this is what the dough looks like. It is soft. It kind of reminds me of when I make my own pasta, but it's a little bit lumpy. maybe I should have added some liquid to it. I don't know. But I think this is probably why, even with the yeast in it, kind of surprises me. They want you to let it set for at least 12, if not 18 hours. And when you make pasta, it's not that much. So we'll be back either tonight, maybe even tomorrow morning to bake this off. But okay, we are done with this for now, and I will see you when it is baking time. Well, as I figured it very likely might be, it's the next day. Guys, I will admit, I wake up very early in the morning, and by the time I'm done with milking, I'm usually ready to just put on my pajamas and go to bed. Last night was a late night, and so I just was too tired to work on these crackers. Don't worry, baby boy is okay. There's 2 adults in there with him. So it's been about 24 hours, and I'm just now getting to these saltine crackers. I think everything will be just fine. So what I've done is, you know, of course, since we doubled, I went ahead and I'm dividing the dough into 4 different chunks. And I'm going to lightly flour the surface, but because it is so cold, I'm going to be able to kind of form it a little bit myself with my hand. And I'm just going to make sure I got that floured. And again, we've got our rolling pin set to the smallest setting, which is 1/8 of an inch thick. And I've been making some crackers. I'm not sure what order they're all going to come out, but I have found that it really could be more like a 1/16 of an inch, because some of these crackers are really kind of puffing up on me more than the store-bought would be. You know what I mean? So if I were to do this again, I might get different gadgets, or I have found that if I just pop the end off, I can get in there and I can get it just a little bit thinner. And I'll do like maybe 1 roll and only pop the one end off so that it kind of reins me in so that I don't get it too thin. And then my trusty dusty pizza cutter to the rescue. And I'm going to make larger crackers. Well, maybe not that one. Because I have found, you know, the saltines, they're just bigger. Now, as much as I would like to be all perfectionist about this and have them be big, perfect squares, I mean, I could technically get really worked up about this and try to make them look a little more perfect and square, but I have found that what we're using it for is not going to matter. So they suggested that I'm going to need 2 of the half sheet pans, but you know what, the way this is rolling out, I'm kind of thinking, I don't know, we'll see. I might need 1 per lump. We shall see. This cracker I think is a little big. I could probably cut him down, and same with this one. So, you know, it'll be kind of fun because I'm going to be using these for dips, but they could absolutely be used for soups and whatever. It's kind of just a fun thing I'm doing this month with all the crackers. And it's kind of nice to have them in different sizes. So what they have you do next is we will go ahead and poke some holes in there because we need that to get the airflow. So make sure you're getting all the way through. If you're more comfortable with poking the holes in on your tabletop before you put them on your pan, I have parchment down here first. This is going to help with burning and sticking, but it also is protecting my pan. So I know that I can take this fork and I can poke all the way through this. If I didn't say so already, I've got my oven preheated to 375 degrees, which is interesting because a lot of my other crackers are at 400 degrees, so take note of that. And something else that's different is they want me to just put water. Just put water on top of the crackers, not an egg wash, not milk, so not butter. I'm just pointing out differences I'm seeing in the different types of crackers. That's what's been so fun about this little journey that we've been on, is to find out how different crackers are made and what makes them unique in their style of each cracker. So it might be ingredients, it might be technique. So this has been a lot of fun. I hope that you all are, depending on when, like I said, when this one comes out, I'm going to try to coordinate each cracker with a dip. So if you didn't know what's going on, we have Dipcember, and every Monday I'm going to have a dip recipe, and then later in the week I'm going to have a cracker recipe to coordinate with that dip. So you can look forward to that. So you just put the water on basically to get the salt to stick. And these are saltine crackers. So I want to make sure I get plenty of salt on them. And then I'm going to do all the other bundles just the same. And then we're going to put them in that 375-degree oven. It said about 8 minutes, but I found yesterday when I was doing the baking with the other crackers that it just wasn't enough time. So I'll probably do more like 12 minutes because I like to put them in my oven for 6 minutes, flip them around, do 6 more minutes. And if they're not quite to the color, or if I don't think they're quite done, then I'll go ahead and do them a little bit more. First round of 6 minutes starts now. Well, looky there, you're back again. You must have wanted to watch me flip the crackers, right? So we are going to, timer's about ready to go off. Oh boy, let's take a look at them. They did puff up. So what I like to do is turn them and then put them from top to bottom. And this is only when you have 2 trays, which you probably will. A single batch has that. But some people like to bake them off in a single batch, and that is perfectly fine too. But I do like to at least turn them front to back halfway through. Oh, it smells so good. And we'll set the timer for another 6 minutes, and I think at that point they'll probably be done. So excited to see what they look like, and I think they should be ready at the 12-minute mark because, like I said, I think it was 8 minutes on the recipe. So shutting the timer off, but not the oven yet. Oh, facials. Okay, here we go. Here they are. I'm going to take my glove off. Usually the bottom bakes better. They still feel a little soft to me, and I really want them to be a little more crispy. So I'm going to add another couple minutes, and I'll do that until I feel like they are ready. Guys, I gotta do a taste test. I can't stand it. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh. Okay. So, oh, wow. At first I was like, oh, they just taste like a cracker, not a saltine. But then that came to me. You probably saw it in my face or could feel it with me. It comes to you and it tastes just like a saltine. You guys, you have to try this recipe. You have to. But if you can possibly get it thinner, I would try to get like a 1/16 of an inch or smaller. I mean, it just wants to puff up. So that's the only complaint I have. Bye for now, friends. See you next time.